people behind the screens, Juha, welcome to the first business and technology suppers that we are organizing at Marbles 6 times at least this winter and spring to celebrate our starting of a new service, Marbles IT Executive Headhunting Service. Well, the focus of these suppers is kind of like to discuss around the case, which comes first, chicken or egg problem, which comes first, business idea or the tech solution. Your background is super interesting. You've been involved in a number of companies. What's the intro of who's Juha?
Well, I could call myself a serial entrepreneur.
Definitely.
Started my first company in '94 and had several starts, and this is kind of my motivation to, get excited about new things, start building them, and that's just me. That always gives me the kicks, and it's always beautiful at the start, and once you realize that there is 1 or 2 obstacles that you have to go around. But yeah, that's who I am as a person. I started off with the first company actually was involved with snowboarding, which I did back in the days, and a company did events.
Yeah.
And then we did professional coaching. I used to be a professional snowboarder myself, so I turned it into coaching because nobody else did that at the time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of help the Finnish snowboarding to go up and succeed. And I did that for a few years for Finnish Snowboard Association, started the operations there. And then there was lots of inquiries from around the world. So we started the first professional team of snowboarding. We had few world champions that we coached, and at the same time we did events in Finland. Some of you might remember Jyrki TV show, and we started to do events for Jyrki. We did those for 3 years, built like huge snowboard ramps in the middle of the cities. I think the biggest audience that, according to police, was about 33,000 people watching the show.
I love that quote, according to police. and
the same police called me in the middle of the show that you have to stop this because this is blocking all the traffic and everything. And that was good times. That was really, really good times. There's been actually a book of Jyrki coming out, and there's lots of stories about this too. And then when it stopped, we had lots of clients, so we started advertising agency.
Yeah.
There was a saying at the time that if you don't know anything else what to do, start advertising agency. So that's what we did. I did that for 10 years. Then I sold it to a bigger company. Made my first exit of it. Had a really nice, just went for surfing in Indonesia for half a year and things like that, what I wanted. Then really interesting opportunity came to start audio branding company with a few of the, I would say, big names in the music business at the time. So we were realizing that branding is done really well in most of the companies according to visual images and so on, but nobody branded the voice.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that. It didn't really fly so well. So the company actually still exists, but I left from there because I was asked to start running a retail business.
Yeah.
Which I started. We were trying to build a natural food chain in Finland, and then I did.
My guess is that that experience introduced you to a bit of the what you're involved now.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Then I had my web shop business. I was running a web shop. I sold that one, and then 7 years ago I started Upseller, which is still running. Yeah. I just left out. I left the CEO work from there to start in this latest company Upsy. Yeah. And Upseller is going strong. It has its own team and own operations at the moment. Now started Upsy. So that's my story in brief.
That is a superb story. What is Upsy about?
Well, Upsy is in short, Upsy is a automated salesperson for web shops.
Yeah.
So what it does, it helps people who come to the web shop. It helps them to find products.
Yep.
Then when you find a product, it is suggesting you optional products. When you put something in the basket, it shows you that, okay, you should buy these things with it. Yeah. So it's kind of a combination of chatbots. It's kind of a combination of artificial intelligence, machine learning, recommendation engine, and voice systems. And the good thing is that it actually works really well. So it gives additional sales quite a lot to the web shops.
That's it. And I remember talking with you previously about the idea, and sort of I loved your sort of mission, with the company.
Yeah,
it was a little bit against kind of like the big five or whatever in tech. What is it? Kind of like who's the ideal customer?
Yeah, I mean the thing is that. I explain it like this. When you go to Gigantti, for example, you walk into the door and you go to the shop and you want to buy a TV or whatever. Uh-huh. And then there is like 200 TVs on the background. And when you go by themselves and try to figure out which TV would be right for me, what kind of cables would I need, you might need a sales guy for that. Yeah. And there are good salespeople in Gigantti, and they are really good at that. They sell you more and
perhaps a bit more expensive.
And if you compare those people who go in, doesn't get the service and go out, they pay way less than those people who go with the sales guy.
Yeah, true.
And that's basically the idea, and how it started actually.
Yeah,
I have to go 7 years back.
Yeah.
And to the start of Upseller, and what we did then was that I was kind of I noticed that the first chat softwares appeared, and I was thinking, okay, what are these and what you could do with these, and they were meant for customer service on websites, right?
Indeed.
And then I was thinking that, okay, because I've been always a sales guy, I started to think that could you sell with this? Could you do sales with this? Mm-hmm. And that was the first, thing. What was kind of because I knew that there is a big need for companies to get sales from websites, B2B companies, get leads,
exactly,
right? Or quotations or even direct sales. And nobody did that. And this is what we started. And actually how it started is a funny story because I had this idea, and then we went to Kiosk guys who had a software that, we would like to do partnership with you guys and we would try to do something like this. They were really stoked that, okay, nobody's talking about sales, everybody's talking about customer success, customer service. And so I talked to a friend of mine, Antti, whose wife was actually in the middle of between two jobs. So we kind of negotiate. I don't know what happened with the negotiations between Antti and his wife, but what happened was that we got the software. We bought one laptop for her or a computer for her, and she was running Upseller's office at their bedroom You know, and then we had one friend from Helsinki IFK, Hifki.
Yeah.
You know, Jussi Patjas, who was you know, friendly enough to let us try if we could get some leads for them.
Yeah. Classic.
And you know, get more people who would bring their customers to the match and you know, buy a bigger, you know, buy tables from the restaurant and beers and stuff, you know, that would be worth for 3,000 euros instead of selling a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, and
bring in more leads.
We were hunting those, and we saw immediately that this works. And then we started the company.
Yeah.
And what happened actually, the first technological thing that we built in the company was about 3 years later. Until then, we were using other software like Kiosk for that. And then we started to do that. We wanted to get artificial intelligence to help the person.
Yeah.
And also actually do the work for person.
Yeah.
And at the time, 7 years ago, I remember the talk when we were talking that it would be amazing if there would be a machine that could actually answer these simple questions, you know, because people ask the same questions all the time.
Yeah, on the website.
On the website. And it's like Pareto rule that 80% of the traffic is only 20% of the topics.
Yeah.
But 20% of the traffic is 80% of the topics. So there you need a specialist.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it into sales, it's a very different kind of approach from a person or a machine to do it than when you answer questions like customer service questions. Yeah. So this is what we realized, and it really, really boosted. And we started to build AI technology. We kind of built our own platform that we could hook into different kind of AI services, and then we kind of were able to mix, so that at the moment, for example, in Upseller, there's lots of discussions that the machine actually does, but you cannot tell if it's a machine or if it's a human, and it makes it really efficient, and it's also sales.
Exactly.
But at the time we were talking that this is impossible. It was only 7 years ago, and what we realized and why Upsy has started is actually that we realized that we were trying to sell this service, like chat sales service, to different web shops time after time, always failed.
Yeah.
And there is actually then we realized that there is actually a simple reason for that, because if you put a human on a chat on a website, web shop, websites and web shops are different thing. So on a web shop, and a good person is capable of doing about 1,200 conversations a month.
A month. Yeah.
A month. So what if the shop, like Upsy clients, we have shops like Suojakalvotukko, Kaalimato.
Yeah.
There is like hundreds of thousands of people who come and would like to have some help with their choices, what they want to buy.
Instantly,
like this, 24/7, many times at night. And if you would have, like, if you have 100,000 customers coming in, maybe 10,000 of them are normally those who want to talk about something, who want to ask a simple question about returns, or is this or is this that, or what should come with this. And if there would be humans, we would need about 12 to 15 people to operate that 10,000 conversations.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big number.
So if you count that one person costs about 3,000 to 4,000 euros, multiplied by 10 or 15, that's the cost. So that's why it always failed. If you want to put a chatbot in it, like a AI chatbot that you teach the answers and questions, it's ready to fail already, because nobody can teach these questions. And nobody can, really, and most of the chatbots, or I would say all the chatbots are incapable of understanding in what phase the customer is actually on their shopping journey.
Yeah.
Are they looking? Are they choosing? Are they buying something with, or whatever? Yeah. So then we realized that there's a huge market for this, and what we did is that we started the strategy work 2 years ago, actually, under Upseller. Yeah. Because we wanted to have something that scales quickly and we saw that there's a big market in web shops that nobody has taken over.
Yeah.
And especially small and medium-sized web shops, there are like, we operate on WooCommerce Magento Shopify. There's about 7 million web shops in the world.
That's a lot of web shops.
Yeah.
And that's only probably growing.
Yeah, it's growing. It's growing about 15% a year.
Yeah.
And the artificial intelligence sales assistant market is growing about 42% a year. In e-commerce in general.
Yeah.
So the market is booming, and that's why we started the strategy work. We realized that there is so many little web shops who are kind of against the big ones, like for example Amazon.
Yeah.
I've been speaking about this for 2 years, that Amazon will come to Finland and it will eat many people's jobs, many people's, lots of web shops will die if you don't have a unique idea, if you don't serve your customers well, and have a really, really like a good operation going on.
True.
And the biggest problem is that in for example, if you go to city market, you can buy shoes and you can buy video games and you can buy food and
everything. Yeah.
About 100 people enter in.
Yeah.
98 of them will buy something. But in a web shop, it's different. When 100 people come in, only 2 people will buy. So there is 98 people who don't buy anything. Yeah. But people are spending so much money on marketing to get these people into the shop, and then they walk out. So there is the possibility to get them buying something.
Exactly.
And why they don't buy? Because they can't choose. They don't have the basic info. Is this available in red or what is it? So this is what Upsy is for.
For the 98.
For the 98, yeah. Also answering these questions that they have, like frequently asked questions, but especially to do the sales, and it does it really, really well already.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Because that's a big feat.
Yeah.
To be able to say that. And how old is the company officially now?
Company officially started on 7th of December, so it's a little more than a month.
But you said it was sort of
we
rooted at...
Yeah, we built it 2 years under Upseller.
Right.
It was supposed to be part of Upseller, but then when we realized that it is actually a very different kind of business model, it's a SaaS.
Yeah.
It's fully international business model.
Yeah.
And that it requires different kind of organization, and it's way bigger idea that we originally thought. So then we decided that we will separate it as its own company. So we've been because Upseller is a very profitable company. So we've been able to develop it with our own money since now.
Very good.
And now we are already like flying with it solo in a way.
Yeah. When did you realize you have a stellar business idea? Was it that 2 years ago when you really started the strategy work, or kind of like, was it along the way, kind of like when you started work at the Upseller and etc. 7 years ago you mentioned?
Yeah, well, the idea was there 7 years ago in a way, that we want to automate the sales.
Yeah.
But at that time it wasn't just possible, so we went step by step by doing the sales first, with humans, then adding AI in it, and then realize that we just kind of do it with this kind of technology, like what we had, that we have to build something different. So we made first pilots based on these technologies that we had, and we realized that it is not like a chat is always kind of it's kind of this kind of how do you say, it's kind of a stream.
Yeah, and it's an irritation.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I open a website or a web shop and then there's a boom, and it's like, no, I don't need anything at that point.
Yeah.
But to be there on the precisely right moment.
Yeah. But a lot to do with it is that you actually have to understand what is sales.
That's it.
What is sales psychology and how you buy things, how people want to buy things. And this is how it's very different in a way. Some might say that it looks like a chatbot or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it probably does for some people. But how it operates is very different.
Yeah. Thinking about the different experiences that you've had, starting new companies and etc. And thinking about, I know that there are some people kind of like joining in today, hearing this conversation, listening to the conversation, thinking, I might be starting a tech company myself. And what's the sort of key advice, what to think about, thinking about the early days of founding a company?
I mean, one really, really important thing is the right people.
Yeah.
The team. If you talk to, for example, Icebreaker, they look is a team. All the investors look for a team. Do you have the right people? Do you have the right understanding what's it gonna be?
Yeah.
That's why they look for founders who have done it before, who have been there, who have taken all the shit. And
gone through it.
Gone through it and grinded and failed or succeeded. It doesn't matter as long as you are willing to do it. Really, you understand what it means, because it's very different ball game than being a corporation and you have a role that you apply to, or work through to. So that's one thing, and the second thing is really that you have to see what problem you are really solving.
Yeah.
And then the third part, which is the most important, is that how you're going to do that. That you have you have to simplify these things in a way that you don't try to do it too complicated.
Yeah.
Because it's always way more difficult than you would expect to do something. Okay, what does it do? How much revenue do you have? Because it's all about the revenue.
Yeah.
It's all about how much money you can get in, that people will buy it and they are happy, and you can adapt to the need, and you listen to them and understand that what they really want.
Yeah.
Because you have to change it. Well, you might be lucky and it goes flying from the day one.
I think, I wish you very much all the best with the great feat that you're on, and happy to carry on chatting and etc. And with the suppers, we are going to have the second supper. It is the 9th of February. We are going to be creating, of course, a highlight video of this session. And on 9th of February, we're going to go live at 5 o'clock again with Anni Isomustajärvi, who is running the SaaS business of Mehiläinen, the white label health app. And again, we're going to be tackling this same topic. Which comes first? Is it the business idea or the tech solution? We're going to be back indeed in a couple of weeks' time. Many thanks for attending and have a great evening, and many thanks, Juha.
Thank you.
Terve. Olipa hyvä.
Oliko jees?
Oli tosi jees.
Hyvä.